Good morning, friends. So it is Friday, the 13th of November. And let's just start by really just recognizing this, um, that you're here and just seeing the goodness in this intention to do this work that really affects the world. It's like a gift that we give ourselves, but truly to all beings. So as you go ahead and sit, you could start to intentionally breathe. So I've been going back again and again of really starting this practice by some nice steady breaths and possibly, a little water, like make sure that you have some water. You could get in this way, like this is teaching us how to start every day. We have this at some point formal practice of purifying using these most basic elements in a way of the sweeping breath, the cleansing clear water. Especially like in the winter where we sometimes forget to hydrate or do a practice of water drinking. So as you ground really at the base of your body, bringing that life and effort into the spine, space around your chest, start to reach your arms way out to the side, and keep aligning within. Like the lower back has even a little curve to your lumbar. And then go straight up through your spine. Now we're going to reach the arms up, but as you reach your arms up, you're going to interlace your fingers up there and just rotate your palms up. Take a nice stretch here, keeping lots of space around your brain, like your eyeballs kind of floating. Do a little stretch to the side, like, you could lift your right ribs up, straight up. And then you go to the other side, but really ground down through your legs. So do this one more time back and forth. Like you're creating space. Now, as you release your fingers up there, you're going to make fists with your hands. I know you can't see my hands, but make fists with your hands and then you pull down. And let's do that action called pulling prana. So it's like you're pulling this life force and you inhale up and then you pull down as you exhale and you squeeze out. And then you reach up on your inhale. And then breathe through your nose the whole time as you're doing this. Kind of forceful breath and feel the cleansing of the airways, possibly like you might stop and blow your nose. So it's the other part of just this very natural cleansing, purifying to begin our process. Really get the belly moving here, that action around your navel, when you squeeze out your exhale, but the whole time you keep growing your spine. You grow the space in your chest. Starting to really focus your full attention on what's happening inside, not only physically, but how this starts to kind of purify and transform the kind of attitude or the quality of the heart and the mind. Good. And then the arms come down. You just pause here. Let's just do a little sweeping action. So you can just take your left hand to the right side of your neck. You could drop your head over to the left a little bit and just get that stretch to the right side of your neck and actually sweep your fingers there. Ah, move your mouth and your jaw and even towards the front, like your neck a little bit. And then just switch sides. So the head drops a little to the right. And you're just feeling that left side. Gonna get in there. If it feels like you want to do a little massage, or really from your ear, just sweeping down the neck. Open your mouth a little bit, front, getting into the glands here. Swallow again, grab a drink of water if you need to. Good. So let's let go of seated pose. And as you transition back or onto your mat, let's just release the legs. So you're just gonna go right back onto your elbows and just let the legs move here. They're gonna do that big bicycle action here. Like, it's almost like the legs were kind of waiting to extend out. So they're really actively doing this. So that now my legs are working to straighten. Now take your elbows and just push yourself up. Take soles of the feet together and reach your knees way out to the side. So this is not only that hip action, opening through your hips, open around your chest here. So we're going to do this very same position, but see what it's like on your back. And we're also going to kind of do a little abdominal work here. So let's say you recline back, but you are going to lift your head and grab your ankles and just reach your knees way out to the side. So notice how this is a little like abdominal contracting, crunching, and even lifting your head up. As best you can, the feet are together. And then we move into a different motion here. We release this, and then you just reach your arms and legs up into the air. Start to reach the arms up and overhead. Very strong, and keep your throat soft. Keep the arms here. Maybe your thumbs touch the floor. And then bend the right knee into your chest and lower that left leg down, but don't let the left leg touch. It's just hovering there. Breathing, and then the legs go straight up. And then you bend that left knee in towards the chest, and that right leg lowers down. It's straightening, long, long, long. And then both legs go up. And then you bend the right knee, that left leg lowers down. So whole body extended, and then both legs go up. Bending the left knee, right leg lowers down. Breathe here, both legs go up. And then bend both knees, lift your head, grab your ankles, and take the soles of the feet together into this Baddha Konasana pose. Now you could play here with laying back down. And see if you could just lengthen your whole back as you're reaching your knees out. So we have this reclined Baddha Konasana. Now releasing this and just take your feet right down to the mat. And let's just do those pelvic tilts where you pull your navel down. You really contract your lower belly. And then go ahead and just lift that navel area, lower back arches. And then the navel pulls down, you squeeze, you exhale, and then you inhale as you arch your back. And just do this back and forth. Arms dropping down, tuck your shoulder blades under. And then next time that you pull your navel down. You're actually going to lift your butt away from the floor. Lift to that half bridge pose. So it's actually not very bridgy, that you're really just a kind of straight line. You don't have this big domed feeling. And then just lower the spine down. As the spine drops, you arch your lower back again. So this is almost a little doming of, rounding the back into a back bend. And then the navel pulls down and the tailbone lifts up to your half bridge. Keep the shoulders really grounded down here. Keep your throat really soft and your feet planted. And just roll down, arch your lower back, scoop your tailbone under, lift up. Lower the spine down, little arch of your lower back. Chest, even breastbone lifts a little here. And then navel down, tailbone lifting up, half bridge. Good. And then as you let this all the way down, take your hands behind your head. So let's do that work of the, what I just call this like a twisted sit-up. So you're lifting your head and you lift your feet up a little bit, take your legs together, and then straighten the right leg out and reach the right elbow across your left knee. And you just let that go. So this is kind of our neutral position. You could even drop your head down. And then the head lifts again. And you extend your left leg. You reach that right elbow across, touching right knee maybe, and letting go. And when you lift again, you extend the right leg, right elbow goes across, releasing. Left leg lengthens, left elbow across, releasing. Right leg lengthens, right elbow across, and letting go. So you get to keep going, keep doing these back and forth. You may choose to really connect to your breath. Just let the breath flow as you do this. You're not holding your breath at all. This deep waking up in the body. Good. And then as you let this go, we're going to just let the arms release and just cross your ankles here and swing yourself back up. You're in a seated pose. So in your seated pose, you're sitting tall. I'm just in an easy cross-legged position. So with that lift of the heart, take a little twist to your right and feel this lifting straight up of your ribs. So we're going to just warm up this twist action. Twisting to the other side, you might just take right hand on right knee. So breathing, kind of lifting up. And then going back and forth. Even imagine that your heart center is kind of lifting straight up. Even the crown of your head lifting straight up. And you're getting taller and taller as the spine kind of loosens into this. You're very wide across your chest. So make sure that you're not suddenly like pulling your shoulder forward to get into that twist. You stay really spacious. Even your collarbones get really wide across. Mouth is relaxed. You could, as you twist, a little sigh. Making sure that your throat is kind of tenderizing here. Now, as you let go of this really upright position, we'll just continue this with a little alteration here. So you're not crossing your legs. You're just opening the feet wide apart. And then the knees drop to your right. And you let this just twist back here. So notice how this feels like in your hips, or this feels a little easier to just get into this very natural twisting. Breathe deep to your belly. It might just feel a little more free down there, a little more space to really breathe into. Back and forth. Throat is soft. Again, if you want, if it helps, you can make that sound. You know, if there's this feels like there's a lot of tension, it can be good to really get into a vibration to help release that harsh tightness. And from here, you get to take yourself into downward facing dog. Just move onto all fours and just explore this. It's like, oh, down dog, lifting up. Spread your toes, really move your feet a bit here, warming up. Lift the hips way up. Shake your head a little bit. Really feel that inversion, that you're upside down here. Now, as you touch your knees down, you are moving just right onto all fours, and we need to move the spine a bit here. Take the knees apart, so you have lots of space there to go into your cat and cow. Notice what happens when you intentionally bring your awareness, your full awareness to your spine. Like when you're going to cat pose, the focus is the navel and that pulling up, 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 up of your navel. And then as you go to cow pose, the feeling is in the chest. And how the chest is reaching forward, you're moving the spine into the body. So let this roll back and forth. Good. Now, as you pause here in kind of a neutral spine, we're going to move the legs a little bit. So take your knees closer together and keep a very slight effort of chest forward here. You might even kind of lift your gaze forward slightly and then reach your right leg way back. And as you reach your right leg back, lift the leg, straighten the leg, and then bend your right knee. As you bend your knee, you keep lifting your right thigh and point your toes toward your head as if you could touch your toes to your head. You gotta lift your head a little bit, breathe, good, and then just let that go. So that you really need to do according to your own body, right? So let's take left leg, way back, and just think of this as you want to do this like, letting the body move into this shape. So as you bend your left knee, make sure you don't suddenly like drop your leg. So you're lifting that left thigh as you bend your knee reaching your toes towards your head. So this is really whole body moving into this. Good, and then you just let go. Now take the knees a little bit apart and reach the hips back to your child pose. A nice counter pose for your back after that back bend. Pull the spine long so you can just feel like, okay, back bends will, because they're bending, there will be that feeling of slight compression. So as you come back up, we're going to do that one more time. Take the knees closer together. You're on all fours. The arms are really straight. Chest forward. So we can't let the heart lift up and round your back. Spine falls into the body. You're pulling it in as you reach your right leg back. You're really lifting that leg up. And you're bending the knee and pulling like your toes are going to touch your head. And you let go. And then the left leg goes back, straight back. So watching this, how you're relating to your body as you're doing this. Bend the knee. Reach the toes towards the head. And then letting go. Now our counter pose here is down dog, which is a perfect pose because it's just going to pull your spine really long. So keep reaching your hips back, back, back. Even kind of wave your tail here. The whole length of the spine, from tailbone to the crown of your head. Firmly straighten your legs here. Good. And then come to standing. So walk the feet forward. Bring yourself all the way up. So as you come to standing, it's good to practice standing. So let's ground down. Ground your heels. Even imagine, feel your back body as you reach your arms up here. However you want to reach your arms up, like feel your neck, the alignment. So keep connecting to just seeing the goodness of a spacious quality, not only in the body, but around your mind. Do this back and forth where you're starting to open the sides of the body. So you drop one arm down, stretching, opening the side of the body, and then you just switch. You feel the waking up deep in the center of your body as you're doing this. Well, the crown of the head is really reaching up. And breath can really flow here. Make sure as you're going into the side stretch, you don't suddenly clamp down as you're holding it. Good. And then just releasing. Move now towards the front of your mat. So we're going to move into, there was a little theme of doing kind of a dancing quality, but the whole idea of kind of dancing as we do these poses is that we're very grounded and stable. So let's say we come towards the front of the mat. You're just going to ground that right foot down, okay? And as you ground your right foot down, reach your arms up and just start to balance on that right leg. Okay, so when you balance on the right leg, you're going to just start to lift that left knee up. But focus on the steady, the standing leg, strength, the hug of your joints, like you're hugging your body. And then that left leg is just going to start to reach back. And let's take palms together in front of the heart. And this kind of easy variation of Warrior Three, where the left leg is going back. Stay strong. And here's that kind of fluid, little dance of the leg going back. And then it goes back, back, back. And you step back. So that left foot drops down. And as you ground that left heel, you just reach your arms up into this Warrior One pose. Good. And then as the arms go to the side, you're going to lean forward and bring yourself right back to your tree pose. This time, the left foot will go on the inner calf. Palms together in front of the heart. Breathing so deep in that inner or that left thigh is rotating now open to the side. So as you go to your Warrior One again, kind of graceful, you reach that left leg back. There's a little moment, almost Warrior Three, and then you step back. The foot grounds, the right knee is bent now, Warrior One. You get to play with that again. The arms go to the side so you can balance on your right leg. Tree pose, right leg. Gonna move efficiently right into it. That left leg kind of shoots back. Briefly, both legs are straight. And then you step back. As that left foot grounds, push into the earth, you just open up to your Warrior One. Good. From here, we're going to just fold forward. Let's go right to down dog. So you step back. Move towards your plank pose. And then here, so this, again, this kind of graceful repetition where you go back and forth, down dog to plank pose. If you want your down dog, you could go to your three-legged dog. You just reach the leg back and you go to your plank pose. And then when you go to your down dog, you reach the leg back. So it's so good when we're practicing. There's all these options. You're really letting the body decide. But wisdom is present. So you know if you're, slacking or just taking the easy route. So there's the connection. Knows and sees clearly. And it's watching this energy of the body. So we discern, we make wise decisions. And then in your own way, maybe next time you're going to your plank pose, you just lower onto the belly. As you lower down, here's your little, maybe grow. It's a little baby cobra pose here. Feeling like how does your back, your spine feel? Now, as you kind of play with cobra pose of lifting and lowering slightly, you don't have to lower all the way down. It's just a little lowering down and lifting up. And you could, this is a bit of what we were doing earlier, that when you lift your cobra pose, you could lift the right leg, even bend your right knee a little bit. But it is different because you're laying on the floor here. The hard floor doesn't really give very much. So it's going to feel a little bit different. So as you go back and forth, you lengthen, lift the left leg, you bend the knee, and you're lifting that thigh up. So play with that. Yeah, it's good. Even, we're just getting into this, so make sure you're not really forcing. And the heart continues to reach forward as you're doing this. It doesn't matter how much you bend your knee. Space across your chest. And then as you're ready, maybe next time you've done your left leg, that you go back to your counter pose of down dog. Lengthening the back of your spine, lengthen the front of your spine. So it's good to imagine these two planes and that you do have a back of your spine and a front of your spine. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Lift your heels as you lift your heels, lift your hips. Keep your hips lifted as you lower your heels. Now, you're either going to step forward. If you want to practice that little hopping action, you could do that too. So the feet get a little, or the knees get a little bouncy, and then you hop forward. And you come up. You just push into the feet. You come all the way up. Arms come up. And let's take palms together in front of the heart. Just pause and be still here. Ground your feet. Breathing, feeling that alignment, space. Maybe shift towards the front of your mat. Shift your weight to your left leg. You reach your arms up. Balancing on your left leg. Right knee lifts a little bit. Taking the palms together in front of the heart. The right leg starts to reach back, moving into a little warrior 3. So this means like both legs are working to straighten and the spine is lengthening also. Now really reach that right foot back, and step far back, and the foot drops. As your right foot drops down, we start into warrior 1. So the left knee bends, straighten the right leg and lift up your spine, reach up. Arms go to the side a little bit, and then you transition back to your tree pose on your left leg. This time, just take the foot, the right leg is going to rotate open. So the right foot on your inner left leg somewhere. So you play. This is our little dance of moving into our tree, aware of your whole body. Firm and steady as that right leg starts to extend back, back, back. Both legs are straight. You might take palms together in front of the heart. Reach that right leg way back, step back. As the right foot drops, starting into warrior 1, we ground into the earth. You draw your tailbone in, you just reach up. Keep pushing down to lift up. And then moving to your tree pose, keeping this light but playful. So there is kind of this efficient movement. Remember that there is the tree kind of is alive and it will move a little bit. Allow that movement. So we don't want to get too tight or rigid. Heart light as you reach your right leg back. However you want to explore this little opening to your warrior 3. And then you step way back. So the left knee is bending while the right leg is straightening into your warrior one. Lift the ribs. Space around the heart and the throat. And then you release down. Now, going back to your down dog. Hands come down, the foot steps back. You can just close your eyes here briefly in your down dog. Feel the details of this alignment. And then lightly touch your knees down. So you are moving onto all fours now. And in a kind of similar way, we are going to move into this back bend that is really similar. Kind of this all is progressing towards the pose of Natarajasana, which is dancer pose. Reach your right leg way back. Do the same thing where you start to bend your right knee, lifting that right leg. Reach your chest forward. Bring your toes towards your head. And then just let that go. Just bring the right knee down. Lengthen. And a neutral spine. And then reach your left leg back. And as it reaches back, your chest starts to go forward. Working this, let this kind of blossom in its own way. You bend that left knee, lift the thigh, chest forward. Really bend the knee, take the toes towards your head. And you let go. Knee comes down. Open the knees apart. Reach your hands forward a little bit and move into your child pose, where you are really reaching the hips back. And you get that nice pull through your lower back. And then as you come back up and you move to all fours, taking the knees closer together. So now we're going to reach the right leg back again. And as it goes back, chest forward slightly, bend your right knee, but this time reach your left arm forward. And then sweep your left hand, your left arm back, and see if you could grab your right foot. And if you do, if that connects, push your foot into your hand. Reach your chest forward. Keep lifting your right thigh. Balancing. And then as you release, the right leg straightens, the left arm straightens, forward and back, and then release down. So we'll play with the other side. Now, so as you're doing this, as you reach the left leg back, chest forward, bending left knee a little bit, reach that right arm forward, and really any amount of this. Like this might be your pose. Bending that left knee, reach the right hand back, maybe grabbing your foot. Lift the left thigh up, chest reaching forward. Breathing here. Pushing the foot into the hand. Good. And then as you release, you just reach the arm forward, leg back, and release down. So we're going to move into down dog as a counter pose. Give the hands space apart, maybe the feet a little more space apart. Lengthen your spine here. Good. And then stepping forward or that little hop forward. Come on up, standing. Good. As you come up here, let's just take the arms down and take the feet a little bit wider apart. Let's just do a loose action here of our twist. Really let the arms just swing, swing, swing. Ground your feet. Feel the lifting of the chest here. Like, so your heart, your breastbone is going side to side. This is just a great way to get this little churning action back and forth. Really loosen your joints. Now, as you let this go, we're going to play with this Asana, which is really, speaking of dancing, almost like a little plie action where your feet point out to the side and you start to bend your knees. So as you sink into this, shift your feet and get that lift up through your spine, like straight up. So this is going to really open through the inner groin because you're not only reaching your inner thighs out, you're also not like sinking into your hips. You're not pulling the front hip bones up. Right? And then the arms go out. And let this actually go a little side to side. Just play with this. It's not a big action, but I'm kind of bringing weight over to one side and the other side. Just play back and forth. Open the soles of your feet as you do that. Yeah, and then as you straighten your legs, you take your feet forward, more parallel and to your forward bend. Now, when you go to your forward bend, you have to lift up through your thighs. Really pull up. Even take your hands on one leg and do that massage where you press your fingers into your leg. Give that little press, like up and down the full length of your leg, the back of your leg. Just go to the other side. It's good to really feel the effect of this. Like, legs are so happy after you do this. So as you come back up, standing, we're going to do kind of a fluid sequence here where you're going to take let's take your right foot and open towards your right side. So we're going to string together a few poses here done in a fluid way. Bend that right knee. Warrior two, extend the arms. So we're doing all the warrior poses today. But from here, the lower body is going to stay really steady. And you're going to extend out to the right and just drop that right forearm down and reach that left arm alongside your head. Keep reaching that right knee to the right. Round straight down. And then as you lift up here, so keep your legs where they are. You just lift up and that left arm drops. You reach your right arm up. Lift your chest straight up. And then go right back into that. Just bend that right elbow, it drops down. Left arm reaching alongside your head. And then you lift up. That left arm drops down. You reach your right arm up. And that right forearm comes down. Left arm alongside your head. Lifting up as you lift that right arm up. Briefly straighten right leg. So now both legs really straight. Little triangle pose where you touch that right hand down. You breathe, you straighten legs, straighten the spine. Maybe that left arm reaches up. Push into the floor. Stable. Good. And then coming up, feet pointing forward, step the feet together, pause, standing upright, pause. And then go to the other side. So we step wide, open, left foot, little bend of the knee. Feel that you're getting taller. Extend the arms, warrior two. Keep reaching that inner left knee out to the left, right leg firm and straight. Okay, so keeping this leg position, you bend that left elbow. Now try not to sink your chest as you go over here. You're lengthening as you drop that forearm down. Lift the chest as you reach that top arm. Keep reaching left knee to the left. And then just push down. Notice how legs don't move. Reach the left arm up, right arm drops. So really keep the throat and the mouth very open as you go back and forth here. Dropping that left arm down, right arm reaching. So there is this deep strength in the body as you go back and forth. The breath is flowing. Even just listen to your breath here. Feel this strength. So this grace comes from this full embodiment. Next time you reach your left arm up, you straighten that left leg. Feel like both legs were really pulling up. And then triangle pose, you hinge in that left hip. Keep the heart lifted as the right or as the left hand lightly touches your leg. So there's that firmness through the legs. Maybe right arm reaching up. Align your throat. Align your brain. Soles of the feet are open. Now as you come up, toes forward or take the feet parallel. And to a really strong forward bend. So we don't let the legs just kind of collapse down here. You could even reach your arms out. Or take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. And then hinge at the hips. If your hands are behind you, keep the shoulder blades drawing together. Folding over. Breathe, feel. And as you come up, you push into your feet. You release the fingers, step the feet together, standing upright. Good. And then finally, we're going to play with this full Natarajasana dancer pose. So Nataraj is this variation. It's like one of the forms that Shiva will take. So Shiva is like in a way considered to be the god of yoga because Shiva is also known as the destroyer. So I think of Shiva as like cutting through the nonsense. Noticing like unwholesome states of mind or self-centeredness. And like Shiva will just cut through that stuff. So it's a very personal practice. You know how we like to blame the world for things? Well, it says, look in your own heart. So there's a real courage of this. So as we do this one, I'm going to encourage you to use the wall. It's just a wise move. So I'm going to take my left hand and lightly touch the wall, and I'm going to balance on my left leg. So the right palm is up. Okay, the elbow is bent a little bit, and I'm going to scoop back. I'm going to bend my right knee and scoop and grab my inner right foot. So already this might be enough for you. You know, even so, if you have to hold the outer foot, that's fine. So step one, we are upright. So work to be really standing upright here. Drop your tailbone down. Reach your right knee down. And then just start to push your foot, your right foot into your hand and reach your right knee back. Now you're going to go ahead and hinge forward a little bit. Reach the chest forward, lift that right thigh up. So we need that drawing in of the navel kind of lifting up, chest forward as you lift the right knee, right thigh up. Maybe you could even take the left arm and just reach forward. So you let go of the wall. Our right foot keeps lifting up, up, up. Space in your chest. Now, coming out of this, I think is a really important part of the pose. Because you don't want to suddenly collapse down into your joints and crush them. So I'm coming upright, and we don't like slingshot that leg as you release it. Comes down. Both arms down. So any step of the way, you just pause and stay there as long as you want. Take the other side, so right hand, right fingers touch the wall. The whole time, we do not let the chest sink in. So left palm is up. I'm going to balance on my right leg, and I'm going to scoop, like reach back, kind of scoop and grab the inner left foot, which is that arch of the foot. Now here, you might already run into some tight muscles. Like I feel like I want to arch my lower back. So I'm going to lift my navel up and reach that left knee down. And keeping the chest lifted, I'm going to push my foot into my hand. Lengthening. Push the foot into the hand, lifts the left thigh up. And you're right on top of that standing leg. If it feels okay to releasing and just reach your right arm forward. So there's a balance here. There's a balance of effort. Just opening to this. So coming out of this, reach the right arm up. Come upright. Very lightly release the left foot. Foot comes down. Right arm down. Pause. Breathe. So as a little kind of mini counter pose from this, you're going to go, if you're at your wall, you're going to take your wall down dog. This is a really great way to get that thorough length through your spine. So I'm keeping my hands a little bit higher up so I can really reach my hips back. Breathe and feel that real pull through the spine as your pelvis goes way back away from your ribs. Feel free to walk your hands down the wall a little bit. And make sure you're not lifting your navel. You do not want to pull your navel up. Rather, you want to reach your pubic bone back between your legs. Chest open. Give the feet plenty of space apart. One thing you could play with here is a little tilt of your tailbone and your pelvis. So go ahead, you could scoop your tailbone under slightly, but then untuck your tailbone. So you just get to know your lower back. Yeah, it's good to get that little teeny wave of movement while keeping your legs straight. Your head, your neck, throat aligned. Yeah, don't drop your head here. So great pose for a deep decompression in your back. And come on up. As you come up, we're going to go right down onto the floor. So as you come down to the floor here, we're going to go back to that little twist that we did, where the feet are wide apart, you're leaning back a little bit, and you just drop your knees back and forth. Really fluid. And as we're kind of focusing, so I'm doing kind of all my favorite little dancing poses here. This one really reminds me of like taking like modern dance class, which I used to love doing. So we're going to drop the knees to one side. Let's go ahead and drop to your right side. Really lift that left hip up. And then just take your right hand out to the side a little bit more. Just push into that arm and just reach up with that left arm, and you lift away from the floor. And then you come down and you just drop your knees up and over. You just push into the floor. You come all the way up. You release down. So letting your legs, your knees do this in any way that you're lifting and opening into this. So it really does become your own dance. This can be a very tender back bend. You can do this in a way where it's almost no back bending. That's what I like about this one, because you're kind of, it's very free in space. So this dancing then is really letting the body naturally move in a fluid manner. Good. The next time that you are down, you pause. You're going to do a kind of a little fluid action for the strength kind of in your core. You could keep your feet on the floor in front of you with your knees bent. So this one you could do with any level of support. Okay, feet are going to stay down. And you could start by taking your hands down and really lift your chest up. Like, oh, there's that little spine pulling into your body. And then you start to draw the navel in a little bit and you lower down. You might even reach your arms forward. This takes you back into a little bit of a cat arch, scooping your tailbone under. But then you lift back up. Maybe your fingers touch and you open the front of the body. So it's almost like you're untucking your tailbone. And then you start to scoop your tailbone under a little bit and you just reach your arms forward. Scoop. And then coming up. So this one too, as you come up, you could kind of pull your feet back and like towards you and lift your chest. And then release. And come up. So this, as it goes back and forth, you do whatever intensity you want to. Take your feet wherever you want. You can even start to kind of lift your feet up. Maybe lift the feet, kind of straighten your legs up. And you get that more boat pose feeling. It's good to keep the legs really even, like whatever they're doing, they're both doing it. Good. And then as you let that go, just that little bit of work, we're just going to go right down onto the floor. Reach your arms now out to the side. Shoulder blades on the floor. Lengthen your spine. Let's just move to our little twist where you bend your knees, you lift your feet away from the floor and keep your legs together. Go ahead and lift your breastbone just slightly. And then let the legs drop over to the right a bit. Keep growing and lengthening your spine. Your shoulders stay heavy. And then go up and over to the other side. Now, as you start this twist, it might be a good idea to just look towards the ceiling. So you can really feel your upper body staying grounded while your legs are going side to side. And that, of course, creates the twist. Another great way of thinking of this is that instead of dropping the legs, you're really lifting one buttock. As you lift one buttock way away from the floor, that's going to rotate your pelvis and then move into a twist through your whole spine. So really make sure your throat is really relaxed. If your head just naturally starts to move side to side, you could let that happen. Breathe through your nose. And then when your knees drop to the side, you could just let them drop all the way down for a moment. Just play with that. The legs really drop wherever they want to, so that you can feel a real easy opening to this twist. But you have to breathe and like you're sending the signals to your body, like allow this twist, allow. And then you go to the other side, just lift the legs up. You might make sure like the spine is really lengthened out, and then the knees go up and over the other side. You just drop down. Breathe into your whole chest. Breathe into your belly. Good. And then as you let go of this, as the legs come up, neutral in the center, just reach up and grab your right thigh and draw that knee into your chest and extend your left leg straight out against the floor. Maybe readjust your shoulders or your shoulder blades here. And then switch legs. Bring left knee into the chest. Extend your right leg. And then bring both knees into your chest. Drop your feet to the mat. Take your arms down right alongside you. Again, shoulder blades tuck under. Make sure that your shoulder blades are flattened as you lift to that little teeny bridge pose. You push into your feet, your butt lifts away from the floor. Throat stays open and soft. And then just roll back down and do this in an easy, fluid way, like non-stop. Lifting and lowering. So it's good to do this in a way that is a continuous movement. But what's also continuous and steady is that softness of your throat. So at no point are you, suddenly like tensing your throat or your lips or anything. Your eyes stay soft. Next time that you lower down, it's good to be still and pause and feel your lower back really drop down. So the process now of settling. Now it's as if you're watching your body as it goes to Shavasana, not really telling it what to do, letting the bones arrange themselves, but the mind is watching closely. Is there anywhere that feels really tense? Does it make sense to bring props in like blankets or cover yourself up, making sure that you do feel cozy? Moving into stillness. You might feel just the softening around your eyes or the softening of your skin. It's good to do this formal practice where you let go of all control. You put everything down. Let your lips soften. Allow this movement towards complete letting go. But it takes a little time, patient, soften. Be aware of the space, maybe in your chest, around your lungs. And the space in your belly. And practicing letting go of tension. Drop the weight of your head. Good to remember there's no end to this letting go, so we keep practicing. You might even practice saying to yourself and using a really kind inner voice, let go. Let go. The whole body now softens, just melts into the earth. The breath is soft, just like the breath of an infant. And then the next step as we let go of corpse pose, there is kind of this rebirth. This is a real fresh new day. Breathing, moving, transitioning as you move to a seated pose, perhaps sensing that inner strength and that what it feels like to have really come home. Oh, yeah. Connecting to your heart, being led by your heart. And take palms together in front of the heart. So, as you really let your heart sing its own song, this authenticity comes forward, and it really melts all hearts. May we continue in our own way, allowing this creative dance. We'll close with the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. Deep gratitude, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and practicing together. Really, it's interesting because, like, on my end, and probably for you, I can see this classroom just through a number. So, but it is very touching to see that. I mean, pretty much everyone stayed for the whole class, and that's hard. You have this option to just click out of this class at any moment. So I thank you so much for really staying and giving your time, your precious time to do this practice together. Um, Feel free to leave a little comment in the chat, say hello to your friends. So yeah, today is Friday. Tomorrow morning is 2-hour class. If you want to join in from 9 to 11, that is more of a live Zoom class. So the link to that is on my website. It's always there available at boleryoga.com. Yeah. So nice to see everyone. So we'll continue, this ongoing inspiration that we get through each other and from understanding ourselves and what works in your life, of how to really bring this work off the mat and into your own life. So, good to see everyone here. Oh, thanks. So, what's funny too, I will say, I really tried to come up with ways to bring music into this class today. I thought, I don't know, I might just do something different, but it's virtually impossible on a live stream like this to for music to come through in a clear way. So remember that is great about this is you can watch this video again, and then you can put music on. I love that about these online classes. You could burn incense, you could burn candles, you could create your own little, turn your home into uh your retreat center, your own little space. So why not? You can play with that, of bringing, or the sound of waves, have a nature sounds in the background, and go ahead and play with that. So have a beautiful day. If you want to, just that little nudge that you can support me and you can support Common Ground by, I think there's a little link just I think on that page there's a link, but you can always go to Common Ground meditation.org, and it's pretty clear of how to support the center and support the teachers, where you could just say, I'm supporting Nancy Boler Yoga, and that way. So, but yeah, follow your heart, like whatever feels right. How should I give back? How could I um, uh, donate in a way that makes me the happiest? So, signing off. See you next time, everyone.